Greetings. I am here to exemplify the properties of the sine wave through graphing and how it may be applicable through my example as shown on the screen here. As you may be aware, I am a developer of video games, usually through the C# and Unity engine, and what I'm about to show you is a applicable property or an example of the sine wave. Allow me to show. What I have here is an application. As I open up, I have a simple UI interface. In this UI interface, I am here to show a text modified by the sine wave. As I open up this piece of text, I am able to edit it with an amount of characters as seen. But what really is the main attraction here is the debug text animation I've added to the application's UI. For instance, as I play this, it might not look so amazing at the moment, but as I increase the details of the sine wave, think of this as graphing the sine wave and having these points as sort of the details, like the resolution on the screen. As I decrease it, it becomes more abstract and deformed, but as I increase the sine detail, it seems to stretch it out, increasing more detail and more detail and more. For now, I'm going to set it at 22. And as seen here, you can sort of make out the sine wave in this text, as I have used this sine wave data to modify the text vertices of the actual text as shown here. But what really is impressive is that as I decrease the amplitude of the sine wave to a more fitting level, it seems to be more apparent to the human eye of such sine wave properties. But as I increase the speed, that being a sort of scrolling on the x-axis in regards to the sine function, then I am able to clearly see the actual wavy nature of it all. So what I am trying to exemplify here is that when we plot the sine wave, this is going up and down and up and down in accordance to the unit circle, as the sine wave goes up towards the height of the circle, down to the circle, and returns where it originally was, a wavy pattern. But to continue, I just want to show this specific example of how I've managed to input the sine wave into my game, as I have always been intrigued by the applications of the sine wave and just overall wavy nature of it all, and how it can be inputted to animation as seen here. The vertices, as I go into a more wireframed mode, are the main changes here. For instance, these vertices that correspond to letters are going up and down, and as I increase the speed, it'll be more apparent that this is of a wavy nature. Now, what I want to show later, what I want to show now, is I'm going to stop the sine wave. I'm going to go into my text, and I'm going to add a few lines. Say I say a phrase like, ooh, and I wanted to sort of input the sine wave as a way of describing emotion or conveying emotion. Well, what I can do is I can set the sine wave up on its animation and have a sort of way of conveying emotion through sine wave, which really helps in the artistic aspects of game design. And as I can see, it's all based on the graphing of the sine wave. I could show the code, which I will show now actually. As you can see right here, I have the code right here about the sine wave. I have it in a region right here. It's supposed to plot based on the detail, and the more detail, obviously, the more it will plot. But the main takeaway from this, not the code, not the all of that, not even the engine I'm using, the main takeaway is that the sine wave is a beautiful almost artistic expression when used correctly, as the overall wavy nature is appealing to the human eye. And that is all I have to show.